Just a few more days till Wilds comes out, and yet there's still 3 more endgame bosses that I want to get to. So basically I need to run through the endgame and do my best not to get stopped along the way. Something that took me very off guard was when I looked up how much I needed to do to get to him. There is not only an entirely new area, bunch of monsters and special quests, and the thing that I haven't done so far, playing with other people. But we have a bit to get through before that, and we don't have that much time anyways. So let's dive right in. So, last we left off, we had just finished the main story of Iceborne. However, that means that we are now allowed in the endgame content, starting with chasing where Nergigante went. So, we give chase. Now, disclaimer, I went into this as blind as possible, so I will admit that what I was not expecting was to unlock an entirely new area. The intro cinematics also establish very well what type of area this is. Every single monster will be here at the same time, now being extremely prone to fighting each other. Now, as we're exploring, we do end up getting caught in the middle between a Diablos and a Rathalos. Personally, I would have held the Rathalos, for no reason or bias whatsoever. However, before we get to intervene, this new monster begins to approach, which then proceeds to body both of them at the same time. Now, this is a lightning monster, so the first thing I do is check my armor's lightning resistance and... yikes. Thankfully, they're kind of a vibe, so they just leave after this. From there, we get back to Soliana, where we now unlock full access to this area, which is called the Guiding Lands. This area functions differently to any other part in the game. The monsters that appear here are completely random, and defeating them will rank up the area that they are native in. This means you get chances for higher monsters, and can even unlock some others in the future. These monsters also give different rewards than regular ones, so it incentivizes you to farm them here, not only just in investigations. You might see a problem with that though, given that they're all random. Well, not to worry, you can actually lure some of them out once you have enough information on them. So, I make a few laps around the area, hunting what monsters I can see, to get familiar with the hunting space and what resources are available. And I gotta say, this place is packed with stuff. This is a game with so many environmental effects, and they somehow managed to pack all of them in here, while still making it feel really cohesive. So, after picking a fight for the first thing I see for every little bit, we're able to lure the monster we saw earlier, the Zinogre. I gotta say, this is one of the best monsters that I fought so far. Hell, it's kinda sad that they left this monster out until now. He's extremely fast and can attack you from such a long distance. Its attacks are also really quick, but he has very obvious tells, so while you get caught off guard a few times, after that it becomes more of a test of memory, to see if you can remember how to dodge his attacks. Plus, I definitely have a thing, not in that way, for monsters that have multiple forms, and my personal favorite part is that its strongest attacks is the easiest one to dodge, because it's extremely slow, and the fact that I still got caught by it, because I was being too greedy honestly. It really was only my fault. However, I wouldn't say this is anything out of the ordinary. I do really think this monster could have been implemented throughout Iceborne, especially given how many variants of monsters we fight around the end. But so we beat the hunt and move on to the next one. If you would like to see the rest of the journey, you can find the entire playlist with my whole journal on this game in the description. And while you're down there, feel free to drop a like if you're enjoying the video so far, or subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Y'all's support really means a lot to me. Y'all have really helped make this community grow so much, so let's keep doing it, shall we? Thanks! Now, when we get back to Asteria, we get one of the mini quests that will unlock the level caps. Back in the base game of World, these were all pretty big. The first one that appeared on this channel being the Double Bissell Keys, and this time is to hunt a Tempered Rathian and Nightshade Palomo. Now, Tempered monsters beat to be even harder, and they definitely deal a lot more damage. However, we didn't struggle with them too much. It only took 24 minutes to get it done. But yeah, from there we go back to Soliana, and I decide to take on the next assignment on the chain we need, which is to hunt the Kirin that was in the Horfrel's reach, which surprisingly was missing its horn. Nothing too special happens. I don't think Kirin gets that many extra moves, though I will say that I probably was goofing around too much with the clutch beetles. Even though he kept failing again and again and again, he really just sniped me out of the air that last one. But yeah, without too much trouble we were able to corner it and take it out. Our next visit is to find out what caused this. So we head back to the Guiding Lands and see what it is. Oh my god, it's the thing Ek drew. The Viper introduces this monster as it beats up a Kirin, really power skills it, which is funny to me given how much it reminds me of Nazaru, but I didn't expect this for that mental image to also be really accurate. Anyways, remember what I was saying earlier about attacks that hit really hard but also had slow wind-up? Well, this monster really just flies in the face of that. Even though he's really small, his hitbox is insane. He moves around super fast. His attacks start so quickly, and the mileage he gets out of them. Literally. And one of the best ways that I knew how to fight a monster, flint-shotting them so that you get a lot of extra damage, well, that only puts him in a Super Saiyan state. With this, it is even faster, he chains more attacks together, shoots key attacks, as well as making him head directly towards your hand. But the worst attack is when he jumps into the air and slams down. Sounds simple, right? Well yeah, in hindsight it's pretty simple. However, it is pretty hard to learn it when it straight out one-shots you. I could not get the timing of the dodge right, and even when I blocked it, it dealt so much damage it would usually just kill me outright, unless I was like in full health. This is a build I made for defense. But anyways, we keep trying to fight and... Now that's not what I was expecting, honestly. This is the first time I've gotten this, outside of the behemoth fight, but hey, the clock is ticking so we need to get right back into it, which means I didn't take time to upgrade my armor, but hey, we'll be fine. You know I deserve that one. The main thing I learned, which when I figured out was enough for me to not die a single more time in this fight, was how to dodge that move. You see, he will always land on you, so the game counts him as being where you are. The timing is finicky, but if you dive away from the spot you were just at, you'll dodge it just fine. But if you can't do it in time, it is still better to block than eat the full damage. But anyways, we run down literally all our healing items trying to fight it, but we're actually able to get it down. So with the time running short, we head on to the next one. Now, we go after our Zinogre subspecies, the Stygian Zinogre. We find him pretty easy and... oh, I forgot to restock. And head out for it for real this time. Now, this one's a good breather. I really didn't notice that many differences besides a few different lightning patterns. This version of it can also give Dragon Blight to you, but when you're using a build that doesn't use elements, it's not really that bad. I will say though, I legit love how this monster looks. As someone who adores dragons, I really like the effects this thing has going on. However, I will say this monster did run through my entire healing supply. It got to the point where I had a corner in its nest, but since it hadn't slept, I just assumed that it wasn't tired enough. We came really close to getting KO, but we were able to accidentally kill it. I personally like going for captures, but sometimes you get what you can get. From here, we're taken to a special area called the Secluded Valley, where aside from finding a lot of ominous sheddings, nothing else really much happens before we leave. We catch a glimpse of the massive monster on the way down, and once we're back, we instantly unlock a mission to go and learn more about it. They actually put a lot of emphasis to how you should bring other people with you. So hey, if I'm gonna get the full experience, might as well play with some people, right? We head in and... oh my gosh, I love it. Now, a little thing about myself is that I really like Dungeons & Dragons. My favorite monster is the Red Dragon. Objectively, this monster fight is very similar to Safi'jiiva. However, its movements are now extremely deliberate and really powerful too. It will laser focus you, and it won't really open itself up. You'll need to do that yourself. In this floor, there are multiple traps that you can drop on him, and once you deal enough damage, the lower area has ledges you can use to mount it. However, in this area, he also gains the ability to fully focus on a person, making them the designated tank. The attacks are so numerous that eventually he'll wear you down, but this phase doesn't go on for too long, since a bit into the fight it takes into the sky and... oh, I'm getting bad memories. But after withstanding that, he leaves, and we unlock access to the full fight, the Safi'jiiva Siege. For this, I actually went in and joined the lobby, since going on your own is kind of like a death sentence. Now, this is a siege, which means that it's almost impossible to clear it in one go. However, your progress carries over between each attempt, as well as everyone in the lobby. The first floor and the second floor are pretty much the same. What is new is that now we have access to the third floor of the arena. This area merges everything the other floors had, as well as letting the monster fight with its full power. Here it can enter a super critical state, where his attacks deal an insane amount of damage, as well as causing many explosions. On top of that, he will light up the floor on fire, removing valuable ground, and will always end it with a big AoE attack. Failure. However, this form has one upside for you, and that is that an extra weak spot will be added, his chest. As you progress, the fights in the top layers will be shorter and shorter, and eventually you'll probably end up most of the fight in the third floor. He will continue to heal itself as long as the level has energy, so essentially you're trying to beat him up as much as you can. And once you hear one of the handlers saying that the level has no energy, you know you're in the final stretch. This also comes with an extra bit of pressure, because if another group manages to kill it and you don't, you'll need to start all over again, so it's really all or nothing. You need to throw everything against the wall until... And that's that. This is the first of the 3 final bosses that hold the endgame of Monster Hunter World. The other 2? Well, you'll have to see it next time. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy the video. It is like 2 hours till Wilds comes out when I'm recording this, and probably will be like an hour left by the time this video goes up. So the next video on this will be the entire journey compiled into one tidy little video, with a few quality of life edits, plus the 2 black dragons at the very end. Do be ready for me to pepper in Wilds content in the middle though. So if you enjoy my style, or just like my sense of humor, cause God knows that that's not changing anytime soon, feel free to subscribe, and hop on our Discord too. Our community grows larger and larger day by day. I'm really thankful for it. It really means the world to me. So yeah, thank you so much, and I hope to see you all in Wilds. Bye, take care.